every time you see them, you look at that, you know, so and so. You end up kind of just having a standoff. Lingers, doesn't it? 10 years later, you think, oh, yeah, so and so is an idiot and selfish pig. Still there. What about the unpleasant feeling that comes when somebody's blamed or attacked you? And you go back to that memory. I did the best I could, and he just gave me blame me. What a unpleasant feeling again. Yeah. So we look into where the real long-lasting feeling, and it's on the mental, emotional level, right? And if we go into that more fully and more clearly, the really long-lasting ones are not what people did to me, but what I did to them. Those are the ones that stay a long time. Because they were my intentions, or the intentions arose from my heart. Somebody else blames and attacks you. Yeah, that's not agreeable. But you blame and attack others. That's much longer lasting. So you begin to think, oh, how do I, right, is that true? Do you still have regrets? And do you still have blessings? Do you remember your blessings, the good deeds you do? Because as I've said before, it's the painful stuff that really lingers, like the thorn in your thumb. So someone seeking their welfare, understanding the source of their welfare, is I will not do actions or try to avoid actions, intentions that will leave me stuck with pain and a disagreeable, shaky heart that can't stand up, doesn't feel dignified, doesn't feel clean, doesn't feel secure, just makes me feel pathetic and stupid and nasty. The shape. You value the shape of the heart because this is your treasure, this is your legacy, this is what you live with, this is what you die with. Yeah. And so a lot of meditative or contemplative pleasures and so forth, and they don't have this sharp, surging quality to them. They're more like a gentle shaping, because the gentler, steadier shaping lasts longer than the flash hit, which just burns through the chitta, and the chitta is shaken up, and then it goes on to something else. The slow, long-lasting stuff begins not to just burn through something, but saturate and shape the heart. Just like, you run a flame over a carrot or something, a carrot, you just scorch the skin. But if you put it in warm water and boil it gently for an hour, the warmth saturates and changes the textures of the vegetable or the meat. Similarly, sense pleasure, just like running a blowtorch across your heart. You kind of like it. It certainly picks you up when it's dull. When your heart is really kind of dull or broken up, it certainly shapes you up. But then, of course, it just burns through and then have another one. That's what we have to do. So this, because it hasn't actually saturated and what it changed the heart. And the quality, the fact, again, just the sheer fact of it, well, okay, I'll tell you my experience, being an ordinary human being, someone addicted to sense pleasures, someone who enjoys sense pleasures, someone who wants to get their own way and get all that going. Over time in practice, the sense pleasures don't actually mean very much. They just pass through. And they just don't seem to have that much effect, because the chitta is sort of big and expanded, so it doesn't get that relief from when it's contracted and depressed, and you put some sense pleasure in it, does kind of kick it open until it falls. But then again, as you know, if I don't know, I don't want to talk about your life, but what I knew was, I could kick it open, get a sense pleasure, but then after it's gone, it just collapses again. You have to have another one. So I think it's something that gently doesn't seem very pleasant at all in that acute way, because your citta is a bit insensitive. But as you sensitize and you begin to experience qualities like the joy of giving, this is not that difficult. We all can experience that, I'm sure. This is pretty accessible. And then the joy of moderating, so you don't say things you regret, and you do things skillfully. Conscious living, conscious, responsible living, there's a certain pleasure in that. Life as a craft, how to get it right, how to bring harmony to a group of people or to a friendship, working on it. There's that, oh yeah, you mean we get that, don't we? Well, that does. And so this is the trajectory the Buddha's recommended. He says, now also the next kind of agreeable thing is just to declutter. And I think you get that, don't you? You know, things are just so cluttered and tangled up and too much, and just give me some space. Unclutter. It's called renunciation. Sounds very heavy when you call it renunciation, but you call it uncluttering, decluttering. You think, oh yeah, that's like, yeah, that is nice. Fresh space, open, not so much stuff to deal with. Yeah, I want more of that. And this is just what happens, and particularly as you do mental mind cultivation, because when the citta starts to open, it knows what's happening, and it wants more of it, and that's a skillful desire. And as it wants, I want that space, I want that nice, open, steady state. Or get rid of that, give up that, don't bother with that. That's going to just be more confusion. Let's live more simply. Let's live harmlessly. Let's not have any regrets. Even if somebody attacks me, blames me, I don't want to get into bad speech. You know, and this is the way the citta gets its intelligence going. And it sensitizes, you're waking that up. And it wakes up beyond that kind of level of input. Well, this is cultivation, so that we really start to enjoy just warming to the welfare of other people. You can actually enjoy breathing in and out. Although sometimes it seems like a work project, but the idea is, no, you know, just you don't have to do very much. The body's going to do it for you. Just sit back and enjoy that sense of being breathed. Yeah. There's a nice flow of energy through. You know, when your citta comes to your heart, acquires a certain degree of sensitivity, that becomes pretty nice, pretty agreeable. And you're turning to that. And the Buddha's saying, well, you can take it even further. At a certain point, when the mind has finally shed its kind of accumulations of dullness and fatigue and irritability and stress, it begins to have experience called rapture, which lifts, it feels refreshed, feels zingy, zestful. That's agreeable. Enjoy that, linger in that, and your mind feels easeful. Linger in that, deepen into that. This we call jhana, and saturate your entire body with that pleasure. So you're working, almost saturating your nervous system, so you're resetting what your reflexes are by resetting your nervous system. You begin to reset your reflexes, the prickly, the jittery, the agitated, the can't get soothed. So this is the kind of feeling that comes from skillful cultivation. instead of even, but then recollecting relationship to feeling is, feeling is fine, but the most important thing is the shape of the mind. And we step back. How is this? Spacious, open, awareness spread out, learning, available, attentive, not hankering, not resisting. And you begin to reset how your world feels and how you feel about yourself. And there's no blaming and hankering and criticizing and comparing and fear and agitation and regret. And what occurs is your self-image disappears. There's no self-image. And the Buddha said, this is the highest happiness, when you've shed that one. So let's take some time for direct practice. We'll freshen up for a few minutes, and we might take a 30-minute standing or sitting meditation. Perhaps we could stay together for this, but again, it's up to you. So as we seek to settle, it's that choice. What do you want to contact? It's your interest. Feels where you choose to contact. And seeking your welfare, probably the most important thing is to find a stable place so that you can at least ask that question in a much more steady way. You know, what gives me a ground where I can actually assess more carefully. So it's okay, let's use the body. That means withdraw your attention from future, the past, things you need to do, things you wish you had done. Withdraw your attention from that. What other people are doing, what they should or shouldn't be, withdraw your attention from that. Just withdraw, disengage. And probably almost by itself, it returns to the body. That's its home base. So you don't have to, grab something in your body. Just if you disengage from the rest of it, even your eyes half open, it's going to by itself return to the being embodied because that's its home base. And they say, okay, how does that get more stable? Well, balance is important. Comfort is important. Something I don't have to keep adjusting and fidgeting with. So I could stand or sit in a way whereby the body is steady, stable. Where it's get steady first. And the bodies always have some degree of pain in them. If you focus on the steadiness, absorb into that, the steadiness aspect of the body, rather than the physical sensations. That becomes a source of comfort and skillful. And if I want to enhance that, I'll probably check out muscle tension, posture, opening the chest, relaxing around the eyes and the face. And sensing the entire body, because that will bring around the best kind of balance. When you contact the balanced sense, look into it fully, you'll notice that anywhere when it's in your fingertips or your eyes, which is tense or contracted, that disturbs the overall balance and ease. So you check, like you're reading the signals in the nervous system, a little bit hunched up in the shoulders. Oh. Hands are quite tight. Asking them to open, to feel safe and comfortable, not needing to hold on. An experience we call balance. It's not exactly a sensation. It may be how sensations fade. Because now there's not that fidgety, uncomfortable quality. And balance is like the absence of discordant sensations. And the presence, not of sensation, but of a subtle, sensitive intelligence, subtle, sensitive energy. It's intelligent, it's also quite vibrant, quite vital, quite alive. It's a steady state energy. It's not an energy of doing lots of stuff. It's just a vitality. And dwelling in that, lingering in that, letting your chitta, your heart, contact that, sense that, be shaped by it. And when there's balance, no particular pressure, and if the heart can be encouraged to linger in that shape, in that quality, it also begins to release some of its pressures and compulsions. And this is a holistic practice, so we might encourage that with bringing to mind that which loving quality of heart. Those you a feeling of warmth towards others, perhaps gratitude, caring, but to dwell in the quality of the heart rather than the memories of the people or the events. work on the skill of linking the heart to the body. So it's quite normal and natural for, particularly when we get to move into mental stuff, because that's mind does that. It moves off. So that's noticing the relationship and how heart qualities affect body balance, body energy. Particularly on the heart region. It's to do with relationships, love. Abdominal region to do with fear or stability. Head region to do with action, what we do, organization, so we can get very buzzed up with plans and visions. And when you're moving towards stability, really also encouraging everything that you've done, said, people you've met, good deeds you've done, you want to stabilize them as if you're drinking them down to your foundation. So they're very much present rather than past. You're not seeking to be achieved in the future. They're tasted. It takes you down into your foundational areas of your body, where you can relieve some of the sense of self-doubt, anxiety, insecurity. Take you down into your guts. Such as, I take a stand on goodwill. Okay, take a stand on truthfulness. Take it right down. And you breathe it in and breathe it out. Breathing always brings you back into the body. When you breathe, when you're breathing, you connect that to skillful qualities that the breath will then saturate your system, nervous system, with those good qualities. So they're no longer just ideas and memories. They reset your reflexes. If you cultivate this skill, then the self-referencing can disappear, fade out. Because this is just heart state, body state. Now they work together. First, you get a sense of it's your body or your mind, your heart, your memories, but just go to the overall condition of balance, stability, openness. There's no visual image in that present, but it stands by itself without having to have somebody doing it. And the stability of that, the heart touches it first thought, yes, I sense I'm bringing my attention to that experience. As it settles, less need for me to do that. Again, they begin to bond, connect, or I can just be the one witnessing that happening. And it's just witnessing, because I don't really, not asking for anything. I'm trying to make something happen. So those energies of self-reference fade out. Heart steadying, opening. It's held together by its harmony, which we call samadhi. So as we open to experience of bodily form, tactile sensations, who's that? Is there anybody, or is it just that? Can it just be the seeing? If that happens, without somebody doing it, belonging to it, seeing, contact, impressions, perceptions, feelings, no investment in them, no resistance to them, No referencing, no self-referencing. Isn't that comfortable? Useful? Liberating? So I'll leave you with that open question for you to continue your open space, your open inquiry.